Okay, I call this meeting of the Red Oak Independent School District to order at 7 p.m. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of the meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. All board members are present, and we will begin with Ms. Knight, if you will introduce our pastor.
Josiah Cabin, will you come on down, please? Josiah Cabin is an ordained minister through the Assembly of God and serves as the youth pastor at Fuego Church, where he has been a dedicated member for the past 3.5 years. Passionate about investing in the next generation, he is committed to equipping and empowering young people to grow in their faith and purpose. Welcome, Josiah.
Thank you so much, Board. Good evening. My name is Josiah. Would you join me on your feet as if you feel comfortable, as we enter this meeting with a word of prayer? Proverbs 11:14 tells us that where there's no guidance, a people falls, but in an abundance of counselors, there is safety. Let us pray. Father, we come before you and we give you thanks for the breath in our lungs, for the movement we have in our hands and in our feet. God, we also come before you and thank you for the board members that are here this evening. God, we thank you because with them, we can be sure that there is guidance, not just to our school district, but to the lives of the students who will be the future leaders of this district and city, God. We come before you and we lift up every single meeting point we have this evening. We pray that your peace would rest amongst this room, that your joy would fill it, and that your wisdom would guide every single decision that is made. We love you, Lord. We give you praise. And in Jesus' name we say, amen. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Next, Ms. Porter, if you'll take the floor to introduce our pledge leader.
Our March pledge leader is Alana Shaw. You come on down. Alana is 11 years old. Her parents are Alvin and Sherelle Shaw. She has one brother, Braylon, and Braylon is in the 10th grade at Red Oak High School. Alana is in the 6th grade at Red Oak Middle School. Her favorite subjects are math and leadership. Alana enjoys dancing, reading, and crafts, and her favorite books are graphic novels. When Alana grows up, she wants to be an obstetrician. The people she admires are her parents. Something she likes about herself is that she's smart and stays positive. Alana Shaw represents Red Oak Middle School's values and demonstrates the Red Oak ISD 4 talons of a hawk daily. She exhibits academic readiness by striving to become 1% better every day. As a result, Alana has earned a 4.0 GPA for the 4th 6 weeks. Alana was selected by her teachers to represent Red Oak Middle School at the SMU Student for a Day event as appreciation for her resilience. According to all teachers at West Campus, she is respectful and always willing to assist when needed. Alana makes Red Oak Middle School better by displaying integrity that keeps her making good decisions even when other kids are not. Let me just add a little bit. Congratulations. She just made the drill team for your Shaw High Steppers for next year.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Mom, you can come up and take a picture.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Next, we will move into our recognitions part of the agenda. And I want to ask, I know there's a lot of people here and some of you don't have seats, but if you'll wait till everybody's recognized before you do a mass exit, because that way the kids and parents can hear their kids being announced if everybody's not moving all around. And I'll take a break and let everybody go as soon as it's over. So first, we have Mr. Brian Bell will come up. I know he's here.
Come on, come on.
You're just speaking. Just you.
It's all good.
Dang it.
I was hoping I was off the hook or something.
Should have worn her shirts.
All right. Here we have a majority of our Red Oak Middle School archery team. A lot of people don't know we even have archery in Red Oak. So this is a great opportunity for us to come and share. And that was the purpose of our event. We did what we called the Red Oak Archery Pro-Am, first annual. We paired members of the community with our archers on our team. They shot for a combined score, and we had a couple winners, and we're excited about that. We have mayors, fire chiefs, city council, school board members, and a whole lot of ISD administrators, as well as some other folks from the community, including alumni. Our kids did a great job. For our kids, it was also a fundraiser. So kind of along the lines, however many points they scored, certain dollar value. We ended up raising over $7,000. So they did a great job. It's all on them. Part of that was to help us get to state. We had a couple of big donations I'd like to recognize. One was Animal Hospital of Avila gave us $400 to cover our meals for tomorrow, which is actually our state tournament, which we're excited about. So we want to thank them. And then Red Oak Baseball and Softball Association, I reached out and they reached out to us, and we were worried about making sure everything went well tomorrow with transportation, and they gave us $1,000. So I'd like to recognize Sean Kelly is also on their board. So, but more importantly, we're here because we have a couple of awards. We had second place trophies. In second place in our archery pro-am, we had archer Mia Gonzalez, and her partner was with Red Oak Police Department, Lieutenant Jason Meeks. If you want to come on up. And in first place with Eli Caldwell, step forward so they know who you are. There we go. You stand over here. We had Red Oak ISD board member Johnny Knight.
They both cheated.
So, all right. And we have a couple of our students going to present them with their trophies. Come on up, girls. There we go. All right. And one of our dads, Eli's dad, actually made these trophies for us. So this is a great job on that. So thank you very much. We appreciate it. Reach out, help us grow our program. Got fill in behind. There you go.
Some of your little, you got to get up front. Parents, you're more than willing to come up and you're more than welcome to come up and take pictures. Just grab the school right over and take a picture of my daddy. Good luck tomorrow, guys.
Okay, next we will have Laura Kelly, Director of Instructional Technology. And Mr. Sean Kelly, if you will help with this one.
So, good evening. Red Oak ISD does participate in the National Script Spelling Bee. It starts at the local level on campuses. 3rd through 8th grade participate on their campus. And so we have our campus winners tonight. We will start with Wooden Elementary. We have 5th grader Lane Hudson. From Shields Elementary, we have 4th grader Ethan Hernandez. Ethan also was our Ellis County Spelling Bee runner-up. So the campus winners get to also advance to the Ellis County Bee, and Ethan was the runner-up at our Ellis County Spelling Bee. From Red Oak Elementary, we had 5th grader Sydney Bosley. From Shupman Elementary, we had 5th grader Julia Coronado. From Eastridge Elementary, we have 4th grader Cameron Smith. And then from Red Oak Middle School, this middle schooler is from 6th grade, and she also happened to win the county spelling bee. Yes. She got 1st place at the county spelling bee at 6th grader Ivana George.
Get her to come back up. Does she want a picture?
Did you want to come back up for a picture? Come
Yeah,
on up.
let her come back up
Come on.
and get a picture.
Miss Kelly, we're going to take a picture.
Way to go, Sean.
Thought you were sneaking away, didn't you?
That's some,
Cover my
yeah,
face.
need your picture. That's something to be proud of.
Dress for success. She needs a picture.
Sean, folder down.
Stay put just for a second.
I can't be that easy. Great job.
Okay, next, Miss Sanford and Mr. Anderson.
Okay, for the 24-25 school year, Red Oak ISD continues the celebration of students and staff with the Top Hawks and Hawk Staff Spotlight programs, which are sponsored by area businesses and organizations. Each grading period, campuses will select the top Hawks, one boy and one girl from their entire school based on the 4 talents of the Hawk: academic readiness, prepared, grit, character, and service. Each elementary winner will receive a $25 gift card, and each middle school and high school winner will receive a $50 gift card from our sponsor. Thank you to our sponsor, and if you will come on up, Access Self Storage, Mr. Doug Hunt is here as our sponsor and to present the certificates and gift cards. Come on up, Mr. Hunt. Okay, and students, as I call your name, if you will just please remain up here until we get a picture of all of the elementary together. We're going to start with Eastridge Elementary, 4th grader, Briley Ross. Eastridge Elementary, 2nd grader, Elias Villela. Red Oak Elementary, 2nd grader, Zoe McLeod. And Red Oak Elementary, 4th grader, Brandon Rich. Shields Elementary, 5th grader, Abbott Britton. Shields Elementary, 3rd grader, Aubrey Cole. Shepman Elementary, 4th grader, Zariah Baldwin. Shepman Elementary, 4th grader, Dallas Holt. Wooden Elementary, kindergartner, Brian Troll. Y'all have Brian Troll behind you. All right. And Wooden Elementary, pre-K, Jasmine Gordriola. And parents, you're welcome to take pictures as soon as the district gets theirs done. Just line up behind Miss Trimble, and you're welcome to take pictures as well. I don't have to worry about that. Do you remember? That's right. That's right.
Good job, Ace.
The show with the show with the twins tomorrow.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they're first one.
Isn't that really the beating?
Thank you all.
Congratulations. Okay, we will move now into our secondary schools. Okay, and from Red Oak Middle School, we have 6th grader Nicole Wade. Red Oak Middle School, sixth grader, Nicholas Sanchez. Red Oak High School, junior, Connor McAnally.
He's at baseball.
Okay. And Red Oak High School, senior, Liliana Lopez.
Awesome. Thank you.
Congratulations. And Mr. Hunt, if you will stay put for just a moment, please, sir. Also, I wanted to announce our Hawk staff spotlight, even though they were unable to attend. Mr. Hunt, if you'll just stay up there for just 1 second. From our bus drivers and office staff to principals, custodians, and teachers, we also have the best of the best with our Hawk staff. And tonight's winner for the staff will receive a $100 gift card from our sponsor, Access Storage. So congratulations to Linda Flores, our transportation bus driver. She was unable to attend. So if you'll give her a round of applause. Trying to be in two places at once. Okay. So also, I would like to take this opportunity just to tell you all that Mr. Hunt was able to attend our Red Oak ISD Parent Volunteer Appreciation Program last year. And at this time, I'd like to present him and Access Self-Storage as one of our 23-24 Partners of the Year. It's a great event, and we hated he was unable to attend, and we did not want to go without recognizing him. Access Self-Storage not only sponsors our Top Hawks and Hawk Staff Spotlight, they also provide backpacks and supplies for our students. They help celebrate our staff and students with a Villa Road billboard. And we appreciate Mr. Hunt for all that he does in his support of our Red Oak ISD and our community as a whole.
Yeah.
Remember, he's running for re-election.
Oh, that's right. He was up there re-election.
Okay, now as promised, for those of you who would like to go home now and do homework, now's your chance to sneak out. Of course, we'd love for you to stay for our public hearing and all the other interesting things that are on our agenda tonight. And it looks like most people are opting to go home and do homework. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Congratulations. Yes, it always
It's a
does.
senior or whatever that means. I was hoping. Me too. He's good doing that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What's it, 6, 7?
Okay, it looks like it's a good time to get started. Are you ready, Ms. Corns? Okay, we are going to now open our public hearing on the Texas Academic Performance Report. We will first hear from our Chief Technology Officer, Ms. Megan Corns. And then after she's through, there will be time for questions from the audience. So take it away, Ms. Corns.
All right. Let me make sure this is working. Excellent. Okay. Tonight we are going to do our annual report. This information that we are providing and we're going to go over tonight is information that we have already shared. So nothing that we're sharing today is really going to be new information. The majority of this information, we don't wait. If we waited until now, it would be old news. And so we bring this information to you as soon as we get the preliminary data. And then we have to wait until the taper is actually released before we do a full open meeting like this one to go over the full annual report. But the information that we're covering is all stuff that we've already talked through. So this is kind of old news, but we're going to go through it all. So there are 8 portions of this annual report that we're going to go through. The majority of it is what is known as the taper, and that is section 1. So section 1 is the Texas Academic Performance Report, also referred to as the taper. It is compiled by TEA every year, and it's released typically in that December timeframe. And so from that, then we bring this forward to share with the community. This information provides student performance, but it also provides information on our enrollment in different programs, our staff enrollment, our staff, and then our demographics as well. On the very front sheet of the taper report, it states the special education determination status. We are happy to report that for the first time in several years, we have met the special education determination status. This was a meets requirements. This is an area that our special education department has been working on for several years. We're really proud of the hard work that they've done. And so this is a year that we earned the status of meets requirements in this area. Okay, the next several sections, again, are areas that we have shared already this year. So we're looking at approaches and we're looking at meets. In this area, this taper report shares information in comparison of the district to the state and the region. We brought this forward earlier on in the school year because while we are below in several of the areas, it is a piece that we're working on, and we're constantly looking at how we can improve, and we brought forward those plans in the fall semester. So this first chart shows all grade levels and all subjects. This next chart shows the area of all grade levels in reading. This is 3rd grade through end of course exams. Sorry, y'all, my mouth is dry all of a sudden. And so that is the area when we're looking at reading. Then for math, we're looking at 3rd grade through Algebra 1. Science, we're looking at 5th grade, 8th grade, and biology. Social studies, we're looking at 8th grade and U.S. history. And this is a chart that I want to spend a little bit of time on because this is an area that we're really proud of because there was a lot of work that goes into this. This is when we're looking at the growth. So when we're looking at STAR, what we really want is we want growth for all students. And this chart represents that piece in the area of math and the area of reading. So those are the only 2 tests that are given every single year when you're going from 3rd grade on up. And so those are the only 2 areas that we can truly measure growth. And so when we look at the difference between 2023 and 2024, we see a growth in the area of growth from 57% to 64%. And this is a lot of the hard work that our teachers and our campuses put in last year, looking at our individual students and making sure that we're meeting the needs of all students in those areas. So again, this is all students. So the important piece on this one is it's not even just our students that are lagging behind. It's also even our students that are already on grade level. It's making sure that they're still having that growth from every year. So that's an important piece to look at when we're looking at annual growth. So here is the annual growth again from both subjects, and then in comparison to the state and to the region. In the area of reading, and then in the area of math. This next one is a little harder to achieve because accelerated learning is about the students who are not meeting progress. And they may not have met progress for multiple years. So they could be a student that has multiple years of areas that they have got to work on. And if they didn't meet, then they receive accelerated learning hours. And we work with them to try to start closing those gaps. What we saw at the beginning of the school year and over the summer when we were starting to get the data in was that this was an area that we needed to review. And so we brought forward to the board looking at different resources that we could pull in. So that's when we pulled in the IXL resource for our secondary. And then we started working with our campuses to really start targeting this group of students and making sure that those hours of intervention that we were doing was utilizing worthwhile and on grade level material that we needed to start closing that gap, because it is a harder gap to close because these are students with possibly multiple years of gaps that we need to close. So this is only looking at students who did not meet the year before. And again, that is in the area of both subjects, reading, and then math. The next one is looking at attendance. So attendance is a delayed indicator. So it is a lagging indicator. So this attendance is based off of the 22-23 data. And so what we have seen here is that this was an increase from the previous school year. And this is about what we're most likely what we're predicting for the results that we're going to see in next year's taper. So our attendance stayed about the same last year as it did the previous year. So this is 2 years back. This is the 22-23. But we're seeing about the same from last year as well. This is our graduation, this is our dropout rate for 7th and 8th grade. Our dropout rate for the high school. Again, notice that this is a lagging indicator, so this is based on the 22-23 data. This is the graduation rate for our 2023 school year. We anticipate this to go up for the 2024 school year when we look at our preliminary numbers show us about 95%. So we expect that to go up. Sometimes the data gets cleaned some through TEA's magical systems. And so sometimes they come back and give us a little bit of a different number than we have, but we're showing about 95%. And then CCMR. So this is another one that I want to spend a little bit of time on. So CCMR is another lagging indicator. So the cut score for where we were supposed to be at was 60%. We were looking to be right on that, right about the time that this was going to be coming out. But then the state changed and said that the new cut score was a lot higher. And so we couldn't go back and fix anything at that point, but we could start from where we were. So what we saw was that in the 23-24 school year, we anticipate our percent to be about 71%. And for the 24-25, we are currently right now sitting at 63%, and we expect to end this school year in the 80s. And that is a lot of hard work from the high school. We've had a CCMR team put together that has been targeting and really personalizing that piece for CCMR and really looking at each individual student and making sure that there's a plan for them to meet CCMR before graduation. So that's all. They've put in a lot of hours and a lot of hard work. This is our ethnic distribution for the 23-24 school year. And this is straight from the data that is turned in with PEAMS. This is some of our student demographics. So this is our economically disadvantaged, our EB students. You may have heard that called English language learners prior to the last few years. And then at risk. These are enrollment by programs, bilingual, CTE, gifted and talented in special education. And then we have hit section 2. So all of that was section 1. That was the taper. So this is section 2. Section 2 of the annual report is the financial report, and Dr. Johnson shares this every year. We have a first rating of an A, so that has been shared already this school year. Section 3 of the annual report is the district accreditation status, and we are accredited again this school year. Section 4 includes our campus performance objectives. These are shared every year through our campus improvement plans, and those are found online at the district website. You can also obtain those at any of the district, the campus office, the district office, or any of the campuses. And then this is section 5. So section 5 looks at violent and criminal incidences on campus. So there are 18 discipline codes that are considered violent or criminal. Of those codes, we only had 3 that were actually utilized in Red Oak ISD during the 23-24 school year. Of those 3 codes, you will see that aggravated robbery is on there. That was actually not on campus. That was outside of the school, but because it's a mandatory placement, we have to include it within our data. And so that is why that one is listed. You'll see that they all have an asterisk, and that is because there's a less than 5. So if it's less than 5, we include an asterisk because we don't want to provide any information that would compromise FERPA. In order to help mitigate any violent or criminal incidences on campus, we have the student handbook and code of conduct. We have policy. We utilize our counselors. We have the Crime Stopper online form. We have Stop It that parents, students, and community can put in Stop It incidents that we can evaluate. And then we also have the school safety audit. Section 6 is the Red Oak ISD student performance in post-secondary. This is provided to us from the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, and this is looking at how students are performing after high school and in their post-secondary work. And this again is provided to us from that board. And then section 7 is the House Bill 3 goals. So House Bill 3 goals are looking at the area of meets for 3rd grade specifically. And if you'll remember, we've come to you before talking through our goal. Our goal as a district is by 2028, we have a 60% meets for all of our subjects and all of our grades. And so that is what we're working towards. This is looking specifically at 3rd grade data to see how we were beginning them off. And so you'll notice that there was a trend downward. So our curriculum department did put in a plan at the beginning of the year, and I'm going to have Michelle Owen talk through those pieces.
So House Bill 3 looks at early childhood literacy and math. And so for literacy, we've spent summer professional development and our back to school PD, and then 4 professional development days throughout the school year, working with our teachers to make sure that they're trained and have all the materials that they need for our curriculum. In kindergarten and 1st grade, we use literacy footprints for shared reading. We use Saxon for our phonics program. And then we also support our teachers in the area of stations, guided reading, and then writing. 2nd grade, we use Savas. That is our reading adoption. And then Saxon for phonics. And then again, we work with writing, guided reading, and stations in 2nd grade. 3rd grade, again, we use Savas for 3rd grade. And for writing, we have a vertical alignment program continuum for our ECRs, which is how they're tested on STAR in writing. And so in 3rd grade, we really start hitting it really hard as far as how to answer those questions and respond to text in 3rd grade. January 6th was one of our PD days that we did writing calibration and scoring. So our teachers, more than just K through 3, but this focuses on K through 3, met to go over all of our student writing samples, to score them and to calibrate to make sure that we're all looking for the same things in writing, and then to develop intervention plans, extension plans, and then on grade level lesson plans for writing. This year we also implemented iReady. So iReady contains a diagnostic for beginning of the year, middle of the year, and end of the year. Through that diagnostic, the iReady program puts our students on individual pathways based on their learning needs. iReady also includes a teacher toolbox where teachers can pull lessons aligned to all of the literacy TEKs and math TEKs. So they can pull on grade level lessons, they can pull intervention lessons, and they can also pull those extension lessons to push our kids that are scoring at the master's area. Also, House Bill 3 reintroduced reading academies for all teachers in grades K through 3. Prior to this year, our teachers participated online, and we know how that looks sometimes when we participate online. This year, we have done the reading academies all in person. So all of our teachers that are new to teaching grades K through 3 have attended 10, or will attend 10, I think they have 2 more, professional development sessions with our Reading Academy cohort leader. And then they also received 4 additional coaching sessions from our Reading Academy cohort leader in the area of literacy. And that's in addition to the support that they're receiving from our instructional coaches on campus. And then to support our emergent bilingual students, we also have the Elevation program, which contains lessons for teachers and for students to improve those listening, reading, writing, and speaking skills for our emergent bilingual students. For math, we use STEM Scopes in elementary, grades K through 5. This is focusing on grades K through 3. STEM Scopes utilizes the 5E model, engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. And then in addition to that, it also provides intervention and acceleration models for our students who are struggling. Again, for math, we have iReady as well. Just like reading, it has the 3 diagnostics. It creates those individual pathways for our students. And then it also has that teacher toolbox for lessons for our teachers to use. In math, we also use Reflex and Frax that works on math fact fluency. So in grades K through 2, about halfway through 2nd grade, we work on addition and subtraction facts. We want our kids to be able to solve those with fact fluency. And then in second half of 2nd grade and then 3rd grade and up, they work on multiplication and division, fact fluency. And then on that January 6th date, we also brought in Region 10 to do a vertical alignment session where we looked at our math TEKs from grades K all the way through grade 12 to show each grade level how they're building upon each other to make sure that we're making sure our kids are well prepared for the next grade level.
The next part of House Bill 3 includes CCMR, and this specifically looks at the area of AP participation and AP results. So in this area, the curriculum department has been doing an AP curriculum review, looking at certain subject areas and courses to realign some of the resources there. There has been a Region 10 partnership. In addition, the College Board provides a report that actually helps single out some students that might benefit from taking AP classes. And so helping the counselors have that report is going to be a piece that's huge this year. Increasing participation in the AP exams, our ongoing CCMR committee meetings, and then those targeted student plans for CCMR to have that done before graduation. And then the final section 8 of the annual report is the glossary, and this just provides information that is what was shared, and then just that methodology of the information shared by TEA. This is available on the website. It will be available within 2 weeks, and then it'll be available in print from the district office or each campus.
Thank you, Ms. Corns. You have comments from the board? Questions?
Can we back up to accelerated learning for a moment?
Yeah.
This is a page I was looking at. I was looking at this earlier and I was trying to kind of understand a little bit. I'm looking at the state level where they've dropped their percentages, where like if you look at 2023, you look at the state, it's 38, 39, region 37, district. When you look at 2024, you look at state, it's 32, region's 32, and we're 34. So we're above it, but yet why is the percentages changed?
So, and why is it so that's looking at how everybody did in this area. And so across the state, everyone struggles in this area, because these are students, because it could be a fourth grader that's only had 1 year where they haven't passed, but it could also be an eighth grader where maybe they've never passed STAR. And so passing after you haven't passed can be challenging. That's where our teachers are the magicians that really go in there and learn what it is that the student needs to learn, in order to get them to fill in those gaps, so that they can maybe it's filling in gaps for multiple years where they haven't had success over multiple years.
So we're keeping a close targeted eye on this,
Yes,
right?
sir. So my department specifically, we pulled this at the beginning of the year because students are assigned intervention hours. And so my department specifically pulled those at the beginning of the year and helped the campuses look at who has not passed it 2 consecutive years in a row versus somebody who only missed it last year. And then you actually, if you fail, but you made growth, you actually kind of get some points for that, because maybe you've started closing the gap, but you still haven't passed. And so we help look at that as well.
Okay, that was my question. Thank you.
Okay, this is an open or a public hearing, so do we have anyone from the audience tonight that has questions on Ms. Corn's presentation? Now it's time to speak. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Since there are no comments or questions, that will close the public hearing, and we will move into our superintendent's report.
Okay, we will start with Mentors Care update. I have Jessica Roberts, if you will come on up, who is a Mentors Care area coordinator that's going to be presenting to you tonight.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having us here this evening. We're excited to show you all of the exciting things at Red Oak High School going on with Mentors Care. First, I would like to introduce, we have our high school coordinator on the campus full-time, Miss Crystal Dozier. This is her first year at Red Oak High School for Mentors Care, and she has done an amazing job. The kids have just welcomed her, and it's been such a natural introduction. I've been excited to see that, and she's done amazing things so far just in this year. And she's going to introduce our student speaker, which I know is everyone's favorite part.
I just want to say thank you for having me. It's been awesome really being a part of Red Oak High School, a part of the ISD. Thank you to the board. Thank you especially Donna and Johnny for being my mentors to awesome kids. Mr. Howell, Mr. Cordero, thank you for daily support and taking really good care of us at the high school. Our student that's going to be speaking, her name is Havana. She's an 11th grader, and she's always in the Mentors Care room. She really engages. She loves her mentor, who couldn't be here today, but she is an awesome advocate in the community. And Havana wants to go to UT Arlington when she graduates, and she wants to go to the police academy. So bring Havana up.
Turn that mic down a little bit.
I have been a part of the I have been a part of the Mentors Care program for most of my high school life, and I am proud to say that it has helped me become more secure in my decisions. The support I get having a connection with a mentor who encourages me to push myself to be better, and having an opportunity to meet new people and make new friends have helped me become more secure in my decisions and life choices. Mentors Care is a great tool and program for students like me because it allows them to feel safe and have a support system in an area that could be in tandem with their home life. Thanks to the support I have gained, I have received multiple chances to grow and do more outside of my comfort zone by the push of the program and my mentor. Having a connection with a mentor can give the kids in the program some guidance in life. Thanks to my mentor, I have insight and advice about topics I was not thinking about before. Thanks to the Mentors Care program, I have developed a better understanding of people, and it has helped me a lot in the 2 to 3 years I have been in the program. These years have helped me with meeting new people and pushing my self-esteem by talking to the people I find important. Being in Mentors Care means a lot to me and the students in the program because it is a safe environment for us to be in and have people listen to us when we need advice and help in life.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Great job.
Amen.
Now I'm going to go over all of the stats for the school year. Some of these will be from the 23-24 school year, and then some will be from this first semester of 24-25. So this is an overall look at Mentors Care program wide. And it's fun to see all of these indicators, the improvement that students have made. And like I said, this is across all 21 of our campuses. But it's just showing an overall of the difference that a mentor can make in a student's life. You'll see further on in the presentation that we track a lot of stats so that we can show improvements, things that students are struggling with, things like that. And so we love to show when things are improving. We saw a 54% overall decrease among, again, these are roughly about 1,000 students across all of our campuses. We saw a 54% decrease in the indicators that we track for our Mentors Care students. We saw a 48% decrease in self-harm, 38% decrease in bullying, a 37% decrease in behavioral issues such as referrals to the office, alternative school, ISS, things like that, a 36% decrease in drug and alcohol use, and a 35% decrease in students that feel like they're struggling socially. And I'll get more into that in detail, especially for Red Oak High School specifically. So here at Red Oak High School for the first semester of this school year, this is what we saw. We saw 48 students total that were referred new to the program. A referral comes from a caring teacher, an administrator, a counselor, somebody who notices that a student could use a little bit of extra support, and they refer a student to our program. And then that's where Ms. Dozier meets that student and they interview and they give them the choice to join the program if they'd like to. Currently, Ms. Dozier has 56 students in the program, which is very close to a full caseload at all of our campuses. She has 56 mentors, so every student is meeting with a mentor every week. And this year she has a total of 15 seniors, and you'll see later that they are all on track to graduate. We've seen 498 volunteer hours, like I said, for this first semester, which is amazing. Those are people from your community coming in, joining forces and encouraging these kids and stepping foot on the campus. About 9 hours of volunteering, and that, like, again, was for the first semester. 79% of the meetings that are scheduled are happening. Our goal as a organization is 80%. We're really close to that. That includes mentor meetings that aren't happening. That includes students that are not at school that day. If a mentor needs to reschedule for whatever reason, testing, things like that, those meetings aren't happening. But we're very intentional with making sure that those meetings are happening because the students need that support. And Red Oak High School has a 65% mentor retention, which is really great. That means over half of our mentors are returning year after year. So these are the indicators that we track for our statistics. We noticed that the state at-risk indicators were important and we track those, but we also noticed that students were struggling with other things as well. And so we also, about 5 years ago when we started doing these stats, we noticed there was something missing. And so we began to create our own list of Mentors Care indicators. And those are things that we felt really valuable tracking. And so we have our own set, which you'll see later, of the changeable Mentors Care at-risk indicators. And then there are some that are unchanging, and I'll kind of get into that a little bit more. So here's the state at-risk indicators that we track. And these are all things that I'm sure you all are familiar with, but out of our Mentors Care students, There are 29% that have been involved with DAEP, alternative school. 68% were struggling with passing grades for the semester. 5% were struggling with a homelessness situation, McKinney-Vento. We had 38% that were not passing STAR EOC testing, 27% that had an incident with CPS, 7% that were facility placement, which means they were having mental health challenges and they went outpatient to receive services for that. 2% dropout previously and now they're back. And 7% that were experiencing parole or probation, 7% that were expelled, and 2% that were either pregnant or were a parent in high school. And here's a list of these are the changeable Mentors Care at-risk indicators, and these are things that we felt that there was a need to track. There was value here. There were things that we noticed students struggling with that we wanted to really get a good look at. I won't go over each one. I know that can be, but you can see them all here. But some of the larger ones are 70% were struggling. They did not involve themselves in extracurricular activities. And this is something as an organization that we all joined forces to make it a personal goal in each office to encourage the kids to get involved. We know that when kids are invested in something outside of their classes, they're more apt to be respectful in class, to not get in trouble. They want to keep their grades up because they're involved in something and they're invested. As well as, coaches, they're another added layer of support for that student's life. And so that's something that we're really encouraging the kids to be involved in. And you'll see that stat that we show an increase in, but 70% at the beginning were not involved in things outside of school. 54% were struggling with attendance issues. They were falling below that 90% attendance rate, which is really important. And we know that if they're not here, they're struggling. 45% was a large one for depression, students struggling with depression. There's also anxiety and anger. I feel like those are all very hand in hand. 59% of the students in the program were struggling with poor self-esteem. 20% they did not feel motivated. And then I'll move on to the Mentors Care at-risk indicators that we consider unchanging. These are things that the students have experienced that will affect them for the rest of their life. They're not going to improve, but we felt like it was important to show a demographic of students that we're serving with these as well. 4% of the students in the program had a loss of a parent. 18% had a divorce or a blended family, and 11% were struggling with poverty financial struggles. One thing that we've really worked on as well is building great relationships with community resources within Ellis County and Red Oak. And we feel like, there are needs that we find through the program when a student says, I'm struggling with food insecurities or mental health, things like that, and things beyond our control. But we do have relationships with people outside of the school that we can say, hey, here's a service and a resource for you, that we can just give them that information, and what they do with it is their decision. But just helping them find those relationships outside as well to help with those needs. So Crystal had made these referrals, and like I said, we don't know if the students take those or not, but we give them that resource should they need it. Food resource that looks like a food bank, most oftentimes Manna House, things like that. Clothing, counseling. We have partners like Running Free Ranch and things like that that are nonprofits as well, and CPS law enforcement. So this was the results, the impact that it was made at Red Oak High School. And so I'm going to share all of these because they're exciting. 76% improved their attendance. That's one thing. Our mentors will set goals with their students. When they meet that goal, they get on a brag board. We celebrate them. It's exciting. It's fun for them to feel special. They're rewarded for something great that they've done. And a lot of times what we're talking about is attendance. It's important to show up. And so, and I've heard students across the board say, I didn't want to come to school, but I knew my mentor was coming. So, I mean, it helps knowing someone's showing up for you. You're more willing to show up as well. 83% of the students, you saw in the stat that there was a very high percentage of students that were struggling with their grades. 83% of those kids promoted to the next grade level. So they achieved their passing grades. 100% of your seniors, and this was last year, they all graduated, and I believe they're all on track to graduate this year as well. 72% of those kids that we showed having behavioral issues, referrals, like I said, ISD, AEP, those sorts of things. Out of all of them, 72% decreased their referrals from the office. So the behavior is changing. Again, I believe that that's a lot to do with that mentor showing up and encouraging you, setting goals, talking about respect and what that looks like, and navigating difficult situations and things like that. 60% improved their overall at-risk indicators. They decreased those indicators that they originally came in with. That's over half. So this is a report of outcries. And so this is something where a student might have a need that comes up outside of their mentoring time, which does happen. Oftentimes, Ms. Dozier, our room is known as a safe place, as a place where it's a friendly face, they feel comfortable. And so sometimes they will share something that's going on in their lives outside of mentoring time. And so we do diligently track all of those things as well. There was this year, just this first semester, there was one suicidal outcry. And those types of things, Ms. Dozier works very intimately with our school counselors. She notifies administration. They work hand in hand on those things to make sure that appropriate help is given. 40 incidents of anxiety that they reached out to her. She was able to help calm them down, or just give them the support that they need to get them back to class and learning. 4 incidents of depression, 1 of abuse, neglect, 10 of basic needs. And this is something that looks like hygiene products. It could be feminine needs, things like that. We have those in our office if a student needs that as well. Pathways is something that we just recently started tracking a few years ago. We wanted to say, hey, these kids graduate, but a lot of the mentors and students, after they graduate, they still keep in touch. And so we wanted to say, hey, these are the plans that these students have after they graduate. We want to keep up, know what's going on with them. And so this was from last year. 10 of the students that graduated last year were college bound. 1 joined the military, 1 went into the workforce immediately, and 1 joined a vocational tech school like a TSTC. And another thing that we do as well is we have a long list of employees, businesses that have joined with Mentors Care. They are big supporters of us, and they've said, hey, if you have seniors that are graduating that you feel would be a great asset to our company, we want to hire them because we're affiliated with Mentors Care and we want to support them. And so that's also something exciting if we know a student is joining the workforce immediately, that we can send that resume over, help them build that resume with their mentor, and get them a little leg up in the world. 47% of our students reported that they did not feel that they had a person that they could confide in and talk to before joining Mentors Care. And this is actually one of your very own mentors, Miss Danny McLaury. And she says, her student says, Mentors Care has helped me keep my grades up and set goals. It gave me a person that I felt safe with. There's those goals again. We want them to feel confident when they set a goal and have somebody there cheering them on and supporting them. This is your very own Miss Dozier. She said Mentors Care has been an integral part of Red Oak High School students' lives. They have been challenged to overcome their obstacles and be the very best versions of themselves each day. Even though that looks different for every student, we're able to help each of them realize their potential. The standard has been set for them to show up for themselves every day and put in their full effort. And only through these actions will they achieve success that many of them never knew they could achieve. Well said. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
I just want to say, if you're not mentoring, shame on you. If you don't truly understand what Mentor Cares is about, then you need to be visiting that campus to check it out, because you have no clue what it's really about until you're a mentor and you have that kid confiding in you. I know in our family, we have them texting us years after they've graduated. And I'll just say my little girl convinced me to go ahead and run for school board again because she wanted me to hand her diploma next year. So, it makes a difference. And if you just don't truly understand it until you're working with those kids and understand their needs. You think, oh, that kid's fine. There's nothing wrong with them. You don't understand. And there's no money that can be put on the amount of what your outcome is in the end. We're graduating students, we're sending them to colleges where otherwise they would be sitting out dropouts, and our dropout rate would be outrageous. So if you're not mentoring, shame on you. 1 hour a week is not going to kill you, because I can guarantee you're standing around chit-chatting somewhere an hour a week.
We appreciate both of you
Well, I
mentoring.
can just follow up with something. I had a young man I mentored, and he graduated 2 years ago. We stay in communication, and he's fixing to go to the Navy. So he's, when I first met him, I couldn't get 2 words out of him. And I met with him, and he talks more than I do. And that's pretty good. So, but it's amazing the connections you can make with someone. Because the young man I'm mentoring now, they said I couldn't get 2 words out of him, and he has opened up. His grades have come up. He's an amazing kid. But there's a lot of times, and shame on a lot of people, because they think them as throwaway kids, and they're not. You got to walk in their shoes. But it is a great program.
Thank you. I think the power of somebody showing up for you week after week speaks volumes. And one of my personal favorite things that I'm a mentor as well, is that I think most kids, they're under the impression that mentors get paid. They're here showing up for a job. And when they find out that a mentor shows up for no reason other than to just support them, to believe in them, to encourage them, it's nothing in it for you. That light bulb moment is a really cool thing to witness firsthand. And it's a beautiful thing when they realize someone cares about me enough to give up their time to come all the way here and support me, encourage me. So thank you.
Thank
for
you.
doing that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Crystal. Okay, next we have Lakeisha Bass, our Director of Intervention and Grants, is going to come talk to you about TIA, Teacher Incentive Allotment.
Okay, and that wasn't good putting me after that because I'm a big crybaby. So, okay, I'm pulling it together. Okay. All right. So, teacher incentive allotment. Let's see. Okay, what is this? And so this is basically accessibility to a pathway to help us to get our effective teachers more income in their pockets, okay? And so we're looking at how do we allow for the effective teachers to earn more income while staying in the classroom. So not having to go into administration, not having to go into a different area, but actually remain in the classroom and be effective for students, right? That's what we want. We want our students to have the most effective teachers. And so that's what we're looking at here. And so with TIA, which is a teacher incentive allotment, it complements what our district goals and our systems are. And so we're looking at strengthening student outcomes. And so that's one of our main focuses, right, is to make sure that our students are growing and that they are receiving great outcomes. Another thing is improving teacher retention. We want to keep those teachers that are doing an excellent job. We want them here. We want them to stay here. And then reward quality instruction. So we're actually incentivizing those that are providing great quality instruction, as well as encourage professional collaboration. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about our professional learning communities, those PLC meetings. So this encourages them working together to help students grow. And then, of course, we want to maintain a competitive edge in the market, right? So when our surrounding districts are offering these types of programs, we want to offer them for our teachers as well. So in the TIA, it consists of these two separate components. One is our local designation system. And so that's what we worked on as a district. And we had a committee that worked on our system and what that would look like for Red Oak ISD. But the second component of it is the actual allotment, and that's what the state gives us in money to be able to support these designations that the teachers receive. All right, so how that works, we have 3 designation systems, and that's recognized, exemplary, and masters. The pay ranges for teachers could be from $3,000 to $32,000. It does prioritize hard to staff positions. And so Texas, the state of Texas actually does that prioritization. And then it focuses on teacher funding. 90% of the funds that is received goes straight to the teachers. Okay, we are allowed to hold on to 10% of those funds to actually help support growing teachers so that they can earn designation, as well as support carrying out the functions of the program. And then there is a 5-year validity. So that means that each teacher, once they retain a designation, they keep that designation for 5 years. It actually goes on their certificate, and anyone that looked it up will be able to know their designation. Okay, so that breakdown of the payment groups. So if a teacher is to receive a recognized status, they could receive anywhere from $3,000 to $9,000. For an exemplary status, it's $6,000 to $18,000, and for a master's status, it's $12,000 to $32,000. And so let's sort of look at how the state prioritizes it. Remember, we said the state prioritized. So they look at more need. So if there's more need at a campus, they get more funding. So that means if they're a rural campus, as you'll see on the report, the rural campuses receive more than a non-rural. The more the more they have of low socioeconomic status, the more funding they're provided for that campus, because those students may have more needs than students that have a higher economic status. And so what does that look like for Red Oak ISD? So how that breakdown looks is if, say, we were to look at East Ridge Elementary. So if a teacher is to receive recognized status, then their payout is $4,269. But if they were to receive a master's status, they would get $16,229 added to their salary. Okay, and so same thing with the high school, it will be $3,000, $3,847 for a recognized status, with $14,000 added to their salary for a master's status. And so this calculation is done each year, and again, it's done by TEA. So they determine by looking at low socioeconomic status as well as rural and non-rural statuses. Okay, this is a 3-year approval process. Right now, we are in year 1, the pre-application and application phase. Next year, once we're approved, next year would be the data capture year, and we would actually be tracking our student growth. And then we would actually submit the data in year 3. And so that is the 26-27 school. Okay, so again, I said we had a committee that sit down and work through our local designation system. We had a committee of 36 members. Of those 36 members, 29 were teachers. All right, so we did have some that were administrators as well as instructional coaches and specialists. But as you can tell, majority were teachers that were on this committee. And they range anywhere from pre-K all the way up until high school. We made sure we had math, we had science, we had social studies. We wanted to make sure that it was a well-rounded group. We had our extracurricular teachers involved as well. And so we wanted to make sure that this group was able to really make a good decision for our district of what we needed and how we wanted it to function. All right, main thing here, and I know Megan talked about it as well, the greatest part of this incentive allotment is that it's measuring student growth. So this is not about achievement, where did they fall, but it's where they started and where did we get them at the end. Okay, and that's what we want. We want every child to grow, not just our low students, not just our high students, but every single student to grow. And so that's our ultimate goal. And so that's what this system tracks, is the growth of every student. So what we plan to look at as a committee, we looked at our classroom growth. We're looking at our K-3 reading and math teachers, as well as our special ed teachers in that K-3 area for reading and math. And then for 4 through 8 grade, we are looking at reading and math, but then we're also looking at our Algebra 1, English 1, English 2 teachers, as well as our SPED teachers, that is our resource teachers, and our life skills self-contained units as well. Because those students are also, they take STAR off, and so they also have a STAR transition table for those grade levels in those classrooms as well. For our K3, we are going to use our iReady data to be able to determine what growth looks like for those students. For the classroom growth, when we look at our data, a teacher can get a 5-point scale score if they have 80% or more of their students to grow. Okay, so 80% or more of their students meet or exceed the expected growth. And then that teacher will get a total of 5 points on that scale score. Now, how the designation system works, our committee decided that the T-test evaluations will be 50% of their score, and then the classroom student growth will be the other 50% of the score. And so how that looks is for a teacher to receive a master's level designation, they would have a minimum combined score of 4.5. And for exemplary, that's a 3.9. And then for recognized, it's a 3.7. Okay, so you may wonder, well, what about the teachers that weren't in those categories that we just talked about? Okay, well, we also, the state of Texas offers national board certification. And so as you can see here, they have different certificates available to receive a national board certification. And so teachers have an opportunity to receive and go through this program to receive that type of certification. The teachers that receive a national board certification actually are at the recognized level once they are nationally board certified. And so there is a cost associated with the national board certification, but that cost is reimbursed by the state of Texas once the teacher passes the certification. But the state board does allow for them to have payment plans if they go through the state board. And so it gives them options to pay that out over the time frame in which they're taking those courses. Right now, currently, our district supports our current national board certification candidates in 2 ways. Right now, we partner with Region 10 to offer a cohort support, and our district pays the cohort fee for those teachers. And we currently have 2 participants in that, while we are definitely willing to support up to 5 participants for next year. And we also have a district mentor. We have a current teacher that is within our district that is a national board certified teacher, and she is a mentor to those teachers and being able to be a sounding board for them as well. So in addition to them having a mentor through the Region 10 cohort, they also have one that's in district. All right, as I said before, it is a 3-year timeline. And so right now we're at that application phase. We will be notified of our acceptance in August of this year. We'll begin to capture data next year, and payout for those funds would actually happen August 2027. Okay, thank you guys for your time. If you have any questions or any feedback.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Nice.
Thank you so much. And I just have a quick update if my voice can get me there. Boys and girls soccer teams are both in the playoffs and have advanced to the area round after winning by district. The girls will play Sunset at 6 p.m. tomorrow night at Kincaid Stadium, followed immediately by the boys at 7:30 p.m. against North Mesquite. So we have those going to playoffs. Our high school senior, Peyton Fields, qualified for the Region 2 Division I powerlifting state meet and competed this past weekend. He set a new personal best in his weight class as well. So congratulations also to our high school students who were named 5A District 15 one-act play champions. They will compete at the bi-district round this Thursday. We're actually hosting here at Red Oak High School, and they will be performing at 10 a.m. in the PAC at Red Oak High School. Again, that is going to be on Thursday. And congratulations to our top 25 seniors and their star teachers. That's always a neat event. We appreciate the Education Foundation for coordinating that. The star teachers were surprised by their students on February the 5th with this honor, and these teachers have made a huge impact for those students to actually remember them and choose them, and they will be honored on April the 7th at a banquet sponsored again by Education Foundation. Congratulations to our Red Oak High School visual arts students who competed at the Visual Arts Scholastic event. All Red Oak High School students received a rating of 4, which qualified them for state. We have a lot of kids advancing in a lot of different areas. Congratulations to the Red Oak High School CTE robotics team, Talon Incorporated, for an amazing job at the Best Southwest STEAM competition. They received first in school spirit, first in robotics, third overall winning $3,500. And this past weekend, the first robotics team advanced to the final championship game at regionals, where they served as the captain of the alliance and won second place. The individual team is ranked 4th out of 35 teams, and they're also advancing to state at the UIL contest in Houston next week. Red Oak ISD celebrated Maintenance Worker Appreciation Day and Bus Driver Appreciation, and we want to thank them for all that they do. Also, just to mention, I know you're not going to be surprised about this at all, but Red Oak ISD is proud to be among the elite group of education institutions recognized by TASBO, which is the Texas Association of School Business Officials, with the prestigious Award of Excellence in Financial Management and Award of Merit for Purchasing Operations. So congratulations, Dr. Johnston, and your team as well. And Red Oak ISD also received the ASBO Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting, which recognizes school districts that uphold the high standards of financial reporting and transparency. So as it has been every year, the business office has really worked hard to keep Red Oak ISD on target with our finances as well. So just a reminder of a couple of upcoming events. Coffee Talk, hopefully I'll still be talking by then. Coffee Talk with Superintendent will be held on Wednesday, April the 2nd at 7:45 a.m. The next virtual bond talk will be on Thursday, April 10th at 4:30 p.m. And the next mobile food pantry will be Thursday, April 10th at 4 p.m. And that concludes my update.
Ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, now we have public forum, and we have one person. Miss Ferguson, I'll ask you to come up in just a moment, but first I have to read the legal paper. Okay, so now we move into the public comment session of our agenda. The board welcomes comments from citizens who have completed public comment forms this evening, which are accepted prior to the start of the meeting and are not transferable to other speakers. Please be advised that the information shared in public comment is the opinion of the individual speaker, not the district. 2 minutes per person have been allotted for public comments. Please keep all public comments related to school district, governance, and operations. If you have a specific concern related to an employee of the district or a specific student issue, you are encouraged to utilize the district's grievance procedures provided in board policies on the district website. Finally, remember that the board may not discuss or act upon any issues that are not properly posted on the agenda. So, Ms. Ferguson, if you'll come up and just give us your name, and you can see up here your time.
Okay. Good evening, school board. Thank you so much for your volunteer support of our students in our community. My name is Belinda Ferguson, and my family has lived in Red Oak ISD for 11 years. I have 2 students currently enrolled at the high school and the middle school. I've served on a PTA board for the last 8 school years at Wooden Elementary, at Roms, and at the high school. I have served in various volunteer roles throughout the years, and even my husband has been voluntold to volunteer with me at varsity football game nights. Let me share a couple of personal stories regarding the upcoming bond propositions. Let me start with Proposition A. One item that would be addressed on Proposition A is the CTE building. My 10th grader is a current construction CTE program student. When he was an 8th grader and saw this opportunity, direct quote, "Power tools for a high school credit, sign me up." He's that student that struggles with, why do I have to write essays? Why do I have to read Macbeth? But having this opportunity to build a playhouse, build a birdhouse, do something with his hands excited him and made the struggle of having to read Macbeth just a little bit easier. When he was a 9th grader and he had a single block of his construction class, he had to be bused from the high school to the middle school after being bused, only had about 20 minutes of instruction. Even though he only had 20 minutes, it still inspired him to continue with the CTE program. Adding a CTE building on our current land at the high school would allow for more instruction time for these classes and expansions of the programs. Let me share a story regarding my younger son that applies to Proposition C. My younger son participates in track and field, in particular shot put and disc. At the current facilities, the shot put and disc areas are not lit. Often, officials are reduced to using their phone flashlights to measure the last throws at a track meet. Proposition A would not only address these current deficiencies, it's not a matter of keeping up with the Joneses or other districts. Our current facilities are insufficient. I would encourage the community to visit Goodloe Stadium and think about this not only for football.
I'm sorry, I have to stop you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next are action items. First, we move into our consent agenda. Do any board members have any items they want pulled, considered separately? Okay, if not, do I hear a motion?
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
That was a motion by Mr. Knight and a second by Mr. Sebring. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes 7-0. Next, we will discuss the 2025-2026 school calendar. I believe
That's me.
you again.
Yes, that's
no
me again.
voice.
I'll get there. Y'all have a copy of the actual proposed calendar. A draft was made available to staff, students, parents, and community members through our website, social media, and email for input. We did do a survey, so I wanted to kind of give you the results of that survey. We had 648 respondents. Of those 648, 61.6% were parents, 31.3% were staff, 7.5% was students, and 12% was other, which could be grandparents, community members, alumni, and subs. Of those 648 that responded, 91.9% were in favor or no opinion, and 8.9% disliked the calendar. So those were the results of the actual survey. Some of the hot topics, which some of you may have heard as well, were the spring break when it is positioned. That's always a challenging thing to do because we try to go with some of our districts here in Ellis County that we share a lot of students and staff with, Waxahachie in particular. And also then we have Navarro who sets theirs differently. So I know there's always some questions on how we do spring break on that. That was one of the comments that was made, was looking at the positioning of spring break. 4-day school week, which we all know everybody, a lot of people would like that, so they asked us again to look at the 4-day school week, start date and start times and end times. And also there was a lot of positive comments about the fact that they love how we strategically planned out different days throughout the calendar to where we do allow quite a few 4-day weeks where the teachers are actually doing some staff development and students are off, but also giving teachers off as well. So the calendar is very similar to last year's calendar, or actually to this school year's calendar. It still focuses on instructional days and the needs that are related to transportation. So you might see an actual early release day when we are playing a faraway team out of town so that we can have the transportation issues solved there. It also meets our requirement of 75,600 minutes of instruction and contractual staff days and gives us an extra 4.97 days for inclement weather. So the recommendation put to you is to approve the proposed draft calendar for the 25-26 school year as presented. Any questions?
Any questions on the calendar or comments? Okay, if not, do I hear a motion?
I make a motion that we recommend the approval of the draft of the 25-26 school year as presented.
Second motion.
And that's a motion by Mr. Kelly and a second by Mr. Knight. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes 7-0.
Thank y'all.
Sorry.
Thank y'all. Sorry.
Okay. Next, we will have Dr. Johnston. He's going to talk to us about the purchase of new classroom and instructional spaces furniture for the new middle school.
Good. As you just said, we are building a new middle school,
Yes.
and you need to have furniture inside of it. And so that was built into the budget. And there was a committee of 4 or 5 individuals that reviewed several vendors and went with Indico Sales, who we currently use for other things. So the furniture for the new middle school is very similar to the furniture that we have in our existing facilities. And so we got bids from 2 different companies, them as well as Lakeshore Learning, and Indico was the lowest price, and they also guaranteed lifetime warranty on the furniture. And so the recommendation that we go with them for the classroom furniture and the learning center furniture and equipment. The office furniture will come back in another bid at another time. I don't know if there's any questions.
I just got one. Is it our intention to go back with Indigo on the furniture, other than just the classroom stuff? That way we stay with one vendor, or is that something that we're putting out for bid again?
Well, we've gotten bids. It's still in the process of being reviewed, and I can't guarantee that it's going to be with them, but the committee is reviewing 4 or 5 other bid approaches too for office furniture, and they may be one of the ones that come back, but other firms have similar furniture as well. So
Sure.
I was just looking through the proposal. It's very detailed. So.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
committee put a lot of work into this. They really did, sitting for hours at a time trying to do it. So I appreciate the committee.
Any other questions? We have a motion.
I move that we purchase from Indigo Sales as the vendor to provide the furniture, fixtures, and equipment for Dr. Joy Shaw Middle School classroom and other instructional spaces at the price not to exceed $1,596,881.20. The purchase will be made using buy board contract 667-22.
Second.
That's a motion by Mr. Sebring and a second by Ms. Knight. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Johnston. Next up, we will have Mr. Brent Stanford, and he's going to talk to us about the purchase of new school buses.
The time of year, every year, this time of year, we try to get on the agenda to purchase 3 buses. These will be the 3 buses to kind of change the fleet over. And the bus will be equipped with the 3-point seat belts that meet the requirements of Senate Bill 693. This purchase will come out of my 25-26 budget. So we need to go ahead and get them ordered now, just so they'll be here before school starts. I ask that y'all approve.
Any questions for Mr. Stanford?
You know I do. No, this is replacing some of the older ones that we can get out.
Yeah, every year we turn 3 out and
Yeah.
buy 3 new ones, and we still have some that are 20 years old. And
Yeah.
our fleet is better than it's ever been, and our fleet is better than any district around us right now.
Well, that's
And
good.
so that has really helped being short in the shop, that these guys can focus more on preventive maintenance and not have to just rebuild engines and things like that.
Yeah.
So it helps greatly.
I just got to ask, just because it came up here recently. Price difference in a diesel bus versus a electric bus?
No, I hadn't even considered it because we don't have the equipment or the electricity down at the barn to even charge one.
Okay, I just when it came up in conversation, the $147,000 for a bus, you could probably add another couple of digits to the front end of that, for an electric one.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if we had ever gotten a price on it, because I didn't want to overstep and tell somebody that it was about 3 times as much of what we pay for a diesel one.
I never have, but I will check into it and get you back an answer.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm kind of curious now.
I knew somebody that had talked to me about it. And
Yeah.
Make sure you lump on the infrastructure it takes to support that.
yeah.
Well, also kind of a rural type area, you just don't run electric buses, those kind of distances.
Yeah, we're running somewhere around 2,000 miles a day.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with the actual cost of these buses, but are we ever going to get another bus that is like a spirit bus with a wrap and all that, to where it looks like we're up in showing that we are from Red Oak and we're proud to put those athletes, et cetera, on a different bus than the yellow bus?
A lot of districts have gone away from those because of the cost of buses. You're talking probably $250,000 to $500,000 a bus for that versus these right here. So many districts right now are hurting financially, and they need yellow buses just because of the growth and stuff. That is not something I could answer because I don't make those purchases. Somebody else in the past made that and brought them to transportation. I mean, we'll take care of them and issue them out, but that's not something that we would ever, I guess, recommend because we're not in that field.
And I know this has nothing to do with the purchases either, but just a thought just crossed my mind. With our new school opening up, how is that going to affect us with busing?
It's actually going to make it better
Is it?
because the buses that service Shields and Shetland will stay on that side of town and service the middle school. And then they can service the high school and then come back to this side of town. So it's less traffic, or it's less going back and forth across 35.
Okay.
And so we're actually working on all our routing right now so that in the evening, you'll have buses over here that run like East Ridge, and then they'll run the middle school. Well, then when they drop their middle school students off, they might go by the high school and then go to the other side of town where these buses are doing 2 over here. And then they might come to the high school and do a short route over here. So our buses are getting back earlier because our programs that we have for routing has helped us really figure out how to make it the most efficient, the less miles, and get everybody back to the yard on time and get the students home a lot quicker.
Oh,
So it's actually
fantastic.
going to help with that for sure.
Good.
Hopefully with the road situation, they'll get back quicker.
You want to go with 35? That's a nightmare.
And if that
35 is
new
kind of a mess.
elementary comes in play, that'll even help more. We won't have to add any route or any buses or any routes.
Okay, good.
Touches.
That's fantastic.
Those are going to be international,
Yes,
front
sir.
end?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
trying to keep the fleet the same. We did get some other bids this year. We always get 2 or 3 bids, and international comes right in line, and they have the Cummins engine, and
Yeah.
we've had a lot of good luck with them, and parts are easy accessible, and the warranty is really good as far as them coming out and doing the warranty work on them.
Are the others 6.7, the Cummings?
Yeah, they're the industrial 6.7, not what you would find
Yeah.
in the
Okay.
Dodge.
For the
Yeah.
last 5 years.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Nice. Anything else for Mr. Stanford? Okay, then do I hear a motion?
I move that the board approve the purchase of 3 77-passenger buses that, with the appropriate 3-point seat belts from the 2025-2026 budget year from Longhorn Bus Sales by board contract 722-23.
Second. Okay.
That was a motion by Mr. Sebring, second by Ms. Porter. Okay, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, same sign. Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brent. Okay, y'all have your information items. Did anybody have anything they want to discuss on those? Okay, if not, the time is 8:39 and we will go into closed session
Thank y'all.
pursuant to multiple Texas government codes as listed on the agenda.